Alright, hi guys, at the start of the second video, as you can see, I've put that bit of white cowling on the back of the engine because I've primed the driver's seat monocoque area there with the Halfords white primer. I then spray painted that over. Once it dry, sealed it with some Humbrol Glosscote by hand. Slipped it into place. You've got to put it in an angle and then push it down at the back here, and then there's a little rod that goes into the hole on the engine and that slots into place, no glue required. Then I've also put the Haverline Dirt Devil decal on the strut there, and the microset and the microsole is working that, so that's that. Right, now it comes to the monocoque for the driver's seat. As you can see, again with the Halfords white primer, I'll give that a good once over on the top and underneath, and then with the driver's seat area I painted all that in black by hand, and then you got that headrest there which is painted in black, that slots in there. You need to put a bit of glue in because it won't hold by itself. Again, painted that in black, and I painted these areas here, this little bit of guard in black as well with my intricate detailing brush. Also painted that section there with a black, and then round the edges with my intricate detailing brush. So that's that done. I've also done the refueling rig. Painted that in silver, and then black on the inside, and then where the rivet holes am, just got a drop of blobber black paint on the end of my fine detailing brush and dabbed in the holes, and they filled the holes real nice, and then tidied up slightly around a couple of them with the silver, so that's done. I've also done the driver's seat, painted it in anthracite to simulate carbon fibre, painted the seat belts in red and silver for the couplings. Now I will be putting a driver figure in this eventually at one point, so there's no really much point in doing much detailing in there. There's also two decals I've got to go in there, but I'm going to save those for when I get a seat belt set over the driver figure. I've also painted the steering wheel, the outer part in anthracite and the supports in black. I've also done the console, and the decal is on the speedometer, and it's microset and microsole's working that. I've also got the gear changing lever, painted that in black. Now I watched a testing video on YouTube of Nigel Mansell, because Tamiya says to paint that in yellow, but Nigel Mansell on his old Williams from '88, he managed to salvage the gear changing lever knob and paint that's in maroon brown. I've also painted those couplings in red because again on that testing video that's what it was. And then also I've painted these brake ducts in black, the two cross sections in black, that cross section in black, and that rod there, support rod, that's black, and some metallic copper mixed in with silver to represent the gold because I haven't got no gold paint. But that is where I'm sitting at the moment, guys. Stay with me. Right, hi guys, welcome back. Now I've put the flash on even though it's nice and sunny outside because I've got to get inside the cockpit to show you. But as you can see, I've mounted the steering rods, the steering rods on now. Also the seats in as well. So I'll start where you can see those little white round pieces there. Those are the mounting rods that go in those holes at the back of the seat. I had to widen those holes slightly. Also here and here there's two upright rods, which are those. I had to put a drop of glue on each one and then hold it in with some masking tape to hold it down. But I've got that in. You can probably see there, you can see the gear changing lever and rods in there now. I'll put a drop of glue in just to hold them into place. You can also see there's a chassis decal in there as well. Microset and microsole's working. You can also see that I've put the steering wheel and the speedometer console in as well. Those are just pushed into place, they're not glued. Right, now with these suspension arms, pain in the arse again, like on the other suspension arms. Turning the plans over, You can see I've put the uprights on, which are those are there. You can also see that I've put that into place as well, that cross section there. And then you turn the Indycar over and you can see that I've mounted those into those holes there. Drop of glue as well. I had to widen those holes again, mounting those onto there. Then you've got this bloody tie rod which connects to the wheel axles. That was a pain in the arse as well, because as you can see it tells you to push the tie rod through the monocoque and on the other side. And that C-clip, I couldn't get it through, so I had to cut a little tiny section off of the C-clip. It pushed it through fine, and then you mount it onto the wheel axles there, which was very, very easy, and one of those ball pins as well. But the ball pins, those are actually quite easy to push in this time, but it was just that bloody main rod that goes through there that was a pain in the arse. So you can see where I've mounted it there, and I cut that C-clip off slightly. I've had to put a drop of glue, and I actually found the piece of the C-clip that I actually cut off, and I pushed it back into place. And then pushing it from that side, I've put a bit of pressure on it, and the glue's now drying. But that is where I'm sitting at the moment, guys. Stay with me. Right, another quick update for you. As you can see, I've started work on the floor area of the chassis on the Indycar. As explained in the plans here, you've got the floor itself, then you're going to mount those two radiators and that part there, whatever the hell that's for. Then you've got the front wing, and then eventually you'll mount the engine. Well, as I said, I've started work on the floor area, primed it in black. I then masked it all off and then spray painted the nose in the white primer. It's gone down really nice. I then painted this area, masked it all off in the silver, but it looks white. Let me just switch the light off. As you can see, it's silver. So I did all that by hand, switching the light back on. I've then primed those radiator parts on the front wing, so the floor construction is about to be started. Stay with me. And yet another quick update. Welcome back. Right, as you can see, I've done the work on the floor section now. The two radiators are mounted in. A little drop of glue there and there on both sides just to give it a bit more sturdiness. I've painted those in steel. Then you got that component there, that pushed into place with the two push rods, no glue required. That's painted in silver. I then mounted the engine in. You can see the two little clips there, one and the second one. I put a drop of glue around those as well. There's a little mounting notch somewhere inside here. That went in really well and no glue required. Put a drop of glue there and there. But the notch that is just underneath there, I had to push it in with my file to nurse it into place, but it went in. And then last but not least on the floor is the front wing. I primed it first with my grey primer, let that dry, and then I used some gloss spray paint, black gloss spray paint from Halfords. It's brought out the shine really nice, and underneath as well. Now when it comes to mounting in there, let me just turn that around slightly. You can see one of the mounting holes, there's two little push rods mounted on there like there, and you push those into place with your thumb, and it's actually really stiff. It will take a lot of pressure to push it in. You don't have to worry about it snapping, because once it's in the hole it'll push down, and that is looking really, really nice. That's where I'm sitting at the moment, guys. Floor's all done. Stay with me. As you can see, I've gone back to the monocoque now, getting it ready to mount onto the floor. I've put these side pod radiator covers into place now, but I've run into a bit of a problem. Turning it over, you can see there's a mounting notch there and a mounting notch at the back. And the mounting notches have got like a triangular section which, when pushed through, they clamp onto the inner wall. But as I was trying to push this one into place, it snapped on me. So I've pushed that into place, and then as it's come away that way, I've glued that back into place there. But on this side, what I've done is I've cut the triangular notch off and pushed that into place, and it's gone into place really, really well. But I've had to run a drop of glue around there, so when mounting those, be careful of those notches. Stay with me. Hi guys, right, welcome back. As you can see, I've snapped on the monocoque onto the floor. Now, if you remember on the previous update, I'd painted the floor section on the nose in white. But the only problem is, even though I snapped this into place, the top monocoque is not attaching 100% snap onto the bottom. Even though I widened the holes there and on the other side of there, at the rear of the driver's seat, it still won't 100% snap. I tried using the pressure clamps to get it to snap into place, but it wouldn't have it. There's still a small gap in between the top and the bottom. So what I've done is I've just ran some glue there and on the other side, and I'm hoping when the glue dries tomorrow and these clamps come off, that'll be 100% together. Stay with me. Right, as you can see, I've took the clamps off now, and just get underneath there. You can see it looks really, really nice. I've scraped off the excess glue with my flat-headed X-Acto knife. It's looking really, really good. I'm quite surprised actually on the results, not too bad at all. I'm going to top bits and bobs with a bit of white paint, with my matte white paint, but so far it's looking good. Stay with me. Right guys, welcome back. Now as you can see, I've put the nose cone on now. I've also put that little bit of cowling on there, just above the nose cone. Now with the nose cone itself, you've got the two little mounting rods off the wing, and then underneath, in the actual built into the nose cone itself, you've got two little mounting tubes. I widened the hole slightly with my drill, put that down. But before I put that down, using my little mini hobby drill with a 0.85mm bit, I decided to have a go put my own rivet holes in, because as you know, if like in an F1 car or IndyCar, if the driver comes in, he's got to have his nose replaced, they just get a couple of quick Allen keys, take it off and put it back on again. Now it doesn't tell you to put it on in the instructions, but on the actual picture itself, they're on there, so that's what I've done. And like I said, with my little 0.85mm bit, just put in each one. Quite a handy tool to have, that is. Cost me £6 with 20 bits. I put them in. That one I slightly screwed up on. I slipped with the actual bit, but it's alright, not bad at all. And then with my fine tip Sharpie, I then just put the blacks in the holes and then tied it up with a white paint. With this cowling here, slipped it into place. That triangular tipped mounting edge, again quite difficult to get in, so I had to use my tipped file and push it into place and then snap it, and it went in. I've also done the top bit of head cowling now. That's glued, that's just pushed into place. With this, I think it's an air jack maybe, I just painted that in silver and a bit of black. And there's also, you can just make out that EDS logo in there, Microset and Microsol's working that. But not too bad so far. Stay with me. Right, as I've nearly finished with the bodywork on the IndyCar, I want to show off the engine. So what I'm going to do, on the cowling, you can just make out there's a line there, and a line on that side as well. I'm going to try using that line as a guide. I'm going to use my junior hacksaw and cut it off, because I want the side pods to be permanently fixed onto the IndyCar and then just have the cowl removed for the engine. So let's see how I get on with this. Stay with me. I've hit a bit of a snag when it comes to cutting the cowling away from the side pods. Using the hacksaws that I've got, as you can see, I've just realised the blades are too thick. You can see there what I've tried to start, and I couldn't get a decent rhythm on to get it to cut down even further. So if any of you guys could be give me any suggestions of what kind of saw to use to cut down that line, to cut the cowling away from the side pod. That would be very gratefully received.